ऐसे लग रहा है ये स्पॉन्सर्ड वीडियो है ग्रो विद नैप की।
पैसे दे।
ये ले।
Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. The first question is your thoughts on settling in London, Ontario. I think it's an amazing growing city and it's a good place to settle there.
And in terms of like हमें ना जब भी हम यहाँ पे आते हैं, हमने इनफैक्ट पहले भी वीडियो बनाई है और मैं काफ़ी बार बोलता हूँ ये वाली चीज़, हम सिर्फ सोचते हैं कि यहाँ पे आते हैं टोरंटो और वैंकूवर में आएंगे एंड वी डोंट थिंक अबाउट अदर सिटीज़. लंडन इज़ अ रियली ग्रोइंग सिटी. इफ़ यू लुक एट फ्रॉम अ रियल एस्टेट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, population is actually growing pretty fast in that city. There are jobs in that city. Yes, it's not as big as Toronto. Obviously, it can't be. It's probably not as big as Kitchener as well. But there are opportunities there. So if you are able to work remotely, for instance, do consider staying in these small cities because the cost of living, especially from a real estate point of view, is pretty low.
Next question is, how much salary and investment should we have to purchase a house like yours in Canada or US? क्या कहना चाहोगे?
So US का सेपरेट होता है हिसाब किताब. आई एम ऑल्सो लर्निंग दैट, तो वो कभी और बनाएंगे वीडियोस. बट कनाडा में इफ़ यू आर बाइंग अ हाउस, नॉर्मली क्या होता है, जो ग्रॉस इनकम होती है हमारी फुल टाइम जॉब के अंदर, जो हाउस होल्ड इनकम है, फॉर इंस्टेंस हम दोनों मिला के अगर 150 हाउस होल्ड इनकम कमा रहे हैं, सो जस्ट मल्टीप्लाई दैट बाय 4.5. सो अबाउट 650 के आसपास यू विल बी एबल टू बाय अ हाउस, लाइक यू विल बी एबल टू गेट अ मॉर्गेज फॉर दैट. प्लस योर डाउन पेमेंट फॉर एग्जाम्पल $100,000 है, तो यू विल बी एबल टू बाय फॉर 750. और ये वेरी करता रहता है डिपेंडिंग ऑन कितना इंटरेस्ट रेट चल रहा है उस टाइम पे, क्या चीज़ें हैं, तो वो चीज़ ध्यान रखनी है. लेकिन इन जनरल दैट्स अ रूल ऑफ थंब. बट डू टॉक टू अ मॉर्गेज एजेंट और डू टॉक टू मी बिकॉज आई एम अ लाइसेंस मॉर्गेज एजेंट. द लिंक टू टॉक टू मी इज इन द डिस्क्रिप्शन बिलो.
Next question, does mortgage amount varies while working as an independent contractor to full time? Yes, it does.
Absolutely. You need 2 years of, if you are an independent contractor through an incorporation, you need 2 years of history. So I would recommend to buy your first house as a full time and then move to a contract so that you are able to make those mortgage payments and then invest, right? So क्योंकि contract jobs ज़्यादा pay करती हैं. So that's what happened with Simran as well. अब हमारे 1-2 घर close होने हैं, but because they are with partnership, we are still able to make it through a bank. But it's not like it's the end of the world. There are alternate lenders, B lenders बोलते हैं जो कई लोग. Options होती हैं. So again, if you have a personal situation and you need guidance, just reach out to me. The link is in the description.
I do have a follow-up question.
हाँ.
तो मेरी मॉर्गेज अगर इफ आई एम इंडिपेंडेंट कॉन्ट्रैक्टर, तो मेरी मॉर्गेज मेरे डिविडेंड पे कैलकुलेट होगी कि मेरे जो इनकम उसमें आ रही है उस पे होगी?
I personally believe that you should always take dividends and not salary. बहुत सारे लोग बोलते हैं कि सैलरी अगर लो तो मॉर्गेज में ईजी होता है. मैं अग्री नहीं करता. Now that I know that there are lenders who will give it on dividends as well. So Simran, you need to book a call with me.
Okay. That's not my work. वो तो मैंने तेरे को दे रखा है, इसलिए have a call with yourself.
Okay.
Okay. Next question is how to get jobs in BC from India.
Actually, question is a lot broader. How to get a job from India without anything. I think the biggest mistake that I see a lot of people doing, and I've talked to a lot of people, right? I have a program which is called First Job Accelerator. उसके अंदर मैं काफ़ी ज़्यादा लोगों से मिलता हूँ जो देख रहे हैं. The biggest mistake that people are doing are they're trying to apply for jobs through LinkedIn and Indeed without having a working status in Canada. That is, you don't have a work permit, you don't have a PR. And that's a mistake because एक क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं जब भी application process होता है जिसके अंदर do you have a working status? You have to say no. जैसे आप no बोलोगे वैसे ही your file will not be even picked. And therefore networking is the way to go. You need to network, you need to make yourself useful. If you are in IT, it's a little bit easier, but if not, you need to freelance with Canadian companies, with US based companies who have offices in Canada. Make yourself useful for a few months, and that's how you get into those books of those companies, and then you are transferred. We know a lot of people who have come here on work permit. We have made a lot of videos on this channel who have come on work permit. Do make sure that you watch those videos. But networking is your way to come to Canada, whether it's BC or Ontario.
Next question. A new built condo around 5 years old or a single detached house around 15-20 years old, what would be your preference? इसका आंसर मैं दूँ? So I think अगर आप equity की तरफ consider कर रहे हो, like see one thing is price. क्या आप अफोर्ड कर सकते हो, दैट शुड बी द फर्स्ट थिंग. एंड इफ दे आर द सेम प्राइस, देन आई वुड से गोइंग टेकिंग अ डिटैच हाउस, बिकॉज देयर विल बी लॉट ऑफ स्कोप, यू नो, इट विल बी बिगर इन साइज, देयर विल बी लॉट ऑफ स्कोप टू डू इम्प्रूवमेंट्स देयर, एंड यू कैन लिव देयर for, you know, even if your family size increases, you can live there for some longer time as compared to a condo. So that would be my suggestion.
सही है, ये इसका आंसर मैं नहीं दूंगा अब.
क्यों, मैंने सही नहीं बोला?
अच्छा बोला है इसलिए.
हाँ.
बड़ा मतलब यू नो
सीख लिया साथ बैठ के.
थोड़ा सा मैं दे देता हूँ. आई थिंक 5-year-old condo is also not a bad. मैं थोड़ा डेविल्स एडवोकेट वाला दूंगा. 5-year-old condo is also not a bad investment, but एक जो mistake a lot of people do when buying a condo is that they don't buy in the center of the city. चाहे आप लंदन में खरीदो, बट लंदन के डाउनटाउन में खरीदो, जहाँ पे सारी जॉब्स हैं, सब कुछ है, ताकि रेंटेबिलिटी अच्छी हो. कॉन्डो तब खरीदना चाहिए कि आप ऐसे सोच के लो कि क्या आप उस कॉन्डो में रेंट करोगे. अगर वो कॉन्डो कहीं स्क्वायर 1 मिसिसागा में बहुत दूर है, देन यू विल प्रॉब्ली नॉट रेंट इट, राइट. यू विल ऑब्वियसली प्रेफर $200 ज़्यादा दे के सेंटर ऑफ द सिटी में रहने का. सो आई थिंक दैट्स वन recommendation that I'll give, कि बिल्कुल डाउनटाउन के अंदर हो, that will be a lot better.
Good answer. Next question. Looking to buy a house in Calgary, is advised to plan in the next 4-6 months on a single salary, just move to Canada?
Yes, you can buy a house.
Again, for the simple answer, Navjot को call करो. You'll get your answer.
मैं ना पता mortgage advice ना मेरे को देनी बड़ी मुश्किल होती है on a generic level, right? So I don't know how much down payment you are doing. I don't know how much you are earning. I don't know a lot of things, right? So I don't know your credit score. So I think it's always better to have a personalized advice. You know, so that's why I became a mortgage agent. That's why I have a free call that you can book as long as you share the documents. But again, you know, yes, you can buy. In general, you can buy a house within 6 months. There are certain conditions to it, but most of the people are able to fulfill those conditions. So and in Calgary you don't even need a lot of you know, salary to buy a house. So yes, definitely it's a smart move to buy, and Calgary is actually growing. Real estate में एक चीज़ बहुत simple है, जहाँ पे population grow कर रही है वहाँ पे real estate grow करेगी, because वहाँ पे demand supply gap बढ़ेगा. And Calgary की population is growing at a very fast pace, one of the fastest in Canada.
So next question. Can you give tuitions for financial knowledge?
किसकी?
Tuitions for financial knowledge.
Tuitions.
ट्यूशन तो यार तब देते ना जब एग्जाम होता है तो.
Grow with NAV channel. Do subscribe if you have not done that. They are not tuitions, but they are very detailed videos that I am making on everything.
टीचर डायरेक्टली पढ़ा रहा है, ट्यूशन की जरूरत नहीं है.
So yeah, you know, you don't need to pay for it, right? So yeah.
Next question. How is the job market as a business analyst in Canada for international students after studies?
Job market ना सबकी same है. You know, it's good if you are good at what you are doing and if you have the right approach. पता है कई बार ना, even if you are not good at your job, or even if you don't have a lot of experience, if you have the right approach, you know, to find a job, you'll still get it. I have seen a lot of people, and you know, the biggest example is Sahil Raj Narula. He was a dentist.
Yeah.
And then he became a brand manager here in Canada, right? I think you need to have a right approach, and the right approach is, you know, to network. जैसे मैंने पहले भी कहा था, you know, networking is, you know, the answer to a lot of things in Canada, and it's underrated, and people don't use LinkedIn enough, because LinkedIn, and I always use, you know, say that on my first job accelerator program as well, LinkedIn is powerful because it's the only platform where you can actually apply for jobs. You can reach out to the job poster because वहाँ पे लोग भी हैं, and
True.
you can also, you know, express your thoughts, your professional thoughts on your field, and all that taken into account makes LinkedIn really, really good. So make sure that you are networking really well, irrespective of what your profile is.
Next question. Do you think it's a good time to buy a house as a first time buyer in Toronto? See, good time is when you can afford that house. Even if the rate of interest is increasing, can you afford the mortgages? If the answer is yes, then it's the right time for you to buy the house.
इसमें 2-3 वीडियोस बना रखी हैं Grow with NAV चैनल पे, अभी और आने वाली हैं 1-2 हफ्ते के अंदर. There's a rule of 35 calculator on my website. सारे links जो हैं वो, if you follow Grow with NAV, both Instagram and YouTube, you would get everything. So yeah, buy when you can afford. Good answer, Simran.
Thank you. Next question. Is it possible to get the firm approval right now, even though the closing is in 2023 end of year? The answer is no.
See, RBC करता है, to be honest.
अच्छा, ये मुझे नहीं पता.
RBC करता है sometimes, you know, it's not always. But, you know, it's just too long for even them to give a pre-approval. Usually pre-approvals happen at 120 days in advance, and that's what I would recommend, because एक तो pre-approvals के ना 4 पेज के पॉइंट्स होते हैं जिसके अंदर इट कैन बी इनवैलिडेटेड एनी टाइम इफ यू लूज योर जॉब, इफ यू कुछ भी, अगर सिचुएशन चेंज होती है, इंटरेस्ट रेट बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ गए, कुछ भी आता है, दे कैन ऑलवेज इनवैलिडेट एंड फाइंड अ रीजन. सो सो 120 डेज से पहले आई वुड नॉट रिकमेंड, बट येस यू शुड बी प्रिपेयर्ड. दैट्स व्हाई आई एक्चुअली tell people that you should call me or any other mortgage agent. I'm not saying me means mortgage agent, and discuss your situation so that you are well prepared. You don't have to get a pre-approval, but you are just well prepared.
On the right path to get your mortgage, basically. Next question. Hi, I'm new to Canada and struggling in getting a job in my field and have to end up doing labor-intensive jobs. What should I do? I'm in Ontario and thinking to step out from here.
इसके ना 2 parts हैं. Pehla part is that you're not getting a job in your field. First of all, I don't know which field it is, but I think there's lack of networking. I don't want to say that you're not doing that, but there might be a gap in how we are doing it. So it's very important to understand those gaps. If you're not using LinkedIn, start using LinkedIn. Start reaching out to people. Don't just send a connection request. Send a meaningful message with your connection request so that you get the acceptance. अब ये छोटी सी चीज़ है, but I explained this in a 6-hour workshop. Unfortunately वो इस साल के लिए बंद हो चुकी है, but next year वो start होंगी फिर से. So you can join that as well. So that was one part, right? I think there's lack of networking there. The second one is that should you move out and step out if you are maybe earning, less than $100,000, less than $80,000, even less than $50,000, whatever that amount is. I think that's a smart move because $50,000 की job किसी भी province में मिल सकती है. At least your cost of living will be lower, the rents will be lower, and you might even get a job. It also depends on किस profile में हो आप. I would not want you to be in a lawyer or be working in an FMCG company as a marketing executive and then trying to go to Calgary, right? Because वहाँ पे कोई headquarters नहीं है. So that's where you need to position yourself well. But if you are doing a minimum wage job and you don't see yourself getting out of it, then it's actually smarter to move to a smaller province.
Yeah. Next question is, how do you qualify for mortgages for 3 houses? अब सबकी situation different होती है. हमने घर एक partnership में भी खरीदा था. So depending on our situation, we qualify for those mortgages.
And to be honest, it's the biggest reason why we are able to qualify for more houses with a bank. We are not going to a B lender still. With a bank is because we bought our first house, half of what the bank actually asked us to buy.
Yes.
So for instance, we went to the bank, they qualified us for 850, 900, 870 के आसपास, I think the number that they gave us, and we bought for 420.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's for you, but a lot of my clients actually do that, and then they are immediately able to buy a second property and maybe even a third property if you increase your your income a little. So it's highly possible, but if that's not possible, then you can always partner with people who are earning more money, and that way you are able to qualify with the bank. Plus, you also are able to mitigate your risk because then they are it's 50-50, right?
Risk भी 50-50 हो जाता है.
So you can qualify, but again your situation is different. Again, इसके सारे आंसर वही होंगे.
कॉलम आगे जी.
चलो.
Next question. Your take on the housing bubble news.
This is a very heavy topic. 2 हफ्ते में एक वीडियो आने वाली है इसके ऊपर, where I'll be really diving deep into how bubbles are made and why Canadian bubble is real, but still there's such a demand and supply shortage, which a lot of these news articles don't talk about. I think it's important to do a deep dive into it. So do follow me on Grow with Nav. There'll be a very detailed video and a little bit controversial video that will come there.
Next question. Can we work on contract for US based IT companies on work permit in Canada? Iska answer, I'm not very sure, but I don't think that you can work for US companies on a work permit in Canada.
And I think immigration related भी इसका एक आंसर हो सकता है कि if you are working for a US based company and you are applying for a PR, then you would want a Canadian work experience, right? तभी तो points मिलेंगे. So I don't think it's advisable also. So थोड़ा complicated है. I don't know what your situation is. कई बार क्या होता है, US based company contract देती है to like a Canadian like a recruiter, third party recruiter, and then you are full time with them, and then you can still count. So ये थोड़ा complicated process है. But in general you can't, probably it's not advisable to do it directly with a US based company.
Next question. Can I get any house with $80,000 income, a single earner?
You can. It depends on where you're buying. अगर आप विंडसर देख रहे हो, लंदन देख रहे हो, maybe किचनर कॉन्डोज देख रहे हो, you can get it. If you are going towards Calgary, you can definitely get it. Halifax, you can get it. But don't expect to get something in GTA. I know there's a sad smiley as well in this question, so I'm pretty sure you are in Ontario or BC. But yeah, unfortunately, it's getting very difficult to buy a house with less than $100,000 of household income gross in these provinces.
Next question. When can we see rents in Canada falling? ऐसे लग रहा है कि ग्रो विद आपका Q&A चल रहा है.
Rents देखो fall.
ये ना okay, I'll give you a synopsis. ये बेसिकली ना जो वो बबल वाली जो वीडियो आएगी उसमें डिस्कस करेगा, लेकिन अभी तो बता दे अब.
सी रेंट्स ऐसे फॉल नहीं करते हैं. जो लोग बायर्स होने वाले थे आज की डेट में, क्योंकि इंटरेस्ट रेट्स ऊपर हो गए, तो वो बायर्स ना होकर रेंटर्स हो गए. जो नए लोग आ रहे थे वो रेंटर्स हो गए, जो स्टूडेंट्स आ रहे थे वो रेंटर्स हो गए. इतनी सारी रेंटल डिमांड है और हाउसिंग सप्लाई कम है. 14.6 मिलियन घर है और 39 मिलियन पॉपुलेशन है. इट्स अ रियली बैड रेशियो टू हैव compared to other countries, right? So मैं एक synopsis दे रहा हूँ जो मेरी वीडियो में आने वाला है, and I'll be doing a comparison across countries, and that's the reason why rents are actually going up, because the buyers are actually becoming renters right now, which was the reverse, back when the market was going up from a buyer's point of view. So I don't think the rents are going to go down. We need to change our strategy, and one of the strategies is to go to provinces and places which are cheaper.
Next question. Can international students start a business or partnership, a business on a study permit?
No. Simple answer, no. I think it's important to learn abhi, and then try to start a business.
Next question. Where to live in Ontario, BC as immigrant's wife is in IT field?
इस पे हमने पूरी वीडियो बनाई थी, कंपैरिजन करा था. IT के लिए दोनों अच्छे हैं. It depends on your personal preference as well. So do watch that video. You will get a lot out of it.
Yes. Next question. Can a student join an IT company due to 40 hours of working rules update? Yes, you can as a student, join an IT company. अगर आपको hire कर रहे हैं तो you can definitely do that now.
And बहुत सारी IT companies जो हैं वो startups हैं, and startups को cheap labor चाहिए होती है. And when I say cheap labor, it's not $15 an hour. It's not minimum wage, right? Cheap in the sense that जहाँ पे $60-65 an hour कर रहे थे वो उनको afford नहीं कर सकते, right? जो PRs हैं, so they will be okay to pay $25-30 an hour, and you would also learn from a startup. So not just any IT company, but you should target startups and try to do a job with them.
That's all we have for today. I hope you like this session, and if you have more questions, we can do this Q&A again. And I want to have more other questions instead of housing. वो तो गोविंद ऐप पे भी कर लेगा वो.
मेरे को लग रहा है वाली वीडियो 2 में कटेगी, ऐसा हो सकता है. But yeah, that's all we have for today. मिलते हैं अगली वीडियो में, तब तक के लिए bye bye.
And if you want more such videos, comment in the वो comments में लिखो कि you need more Q&A videos. We'll be very happy to do this again. Bye bye.